This video is part of a full podcast, link in the description for the full podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Enjoy the video. And we are back from another short break to come back and do the transfer review. The first player we have to review is Alexander Isak. Now, Alexander Isak has moved from Real Sociedad to Newcastle this week for a reported fee of 65 million plus 5 million of add-ons. Isak wasn't the greatest player in the league last season. I'm pretty sure he scored under 10 goals, which isn't excellent at all. However, he is a very, very good player, and regardless of what people want to try and say about him, he is a top player. If I look at his 2021-22 stats, which I'm just getting up for you right now, he scored 10 goals, 6 in La Liga in 32 games. In 2,000 and 2,700 minutes, he only got 10 goals. However, I've heard that he's a very good dribbler of the ball, but it is a lot of money. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm a fan of him, to be honest. I think he's a good player. It's a lot of money, but it's kind of a statement signing for Newcastle. They needed to sign like a big player to kind of show what they're about. And if they've done that, maybe they could have spent it on another player. Maybe I think Maddison for that kind of money would have been better for them.
Yep.
But it is a good signing. I think he'll do well.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we'll just see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. And then can I get a rating? And one being, I always try and think of players for these. One being
Vestergaard.
No, one's worse than that. Vestergaard was at least a little bit cheap. One being Paul Pogba back to Manchester United after they'd let him go for a free and proceeded to let him go on a free again. And 10 being, let me think of a good player.
Vardy.
10 being Riyad Mahrez. How would you rate Alexander Isak to Newcastle? Obviously think about the money involved and all of that as well.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.5.
A 6.5, okay.
It would be a 7, but it's a lot of money they've spent on him. It could go well, but there's risk in it involved in it as well.
Okay, I'll rate
they
that.
really need another striker. I'm not sure.
Wilson's injury prone. Wood's not good enough, I don't think, for Newcastle. So at 6.5, I see that. I'm going to give it a... I was thinking 6.5 as well, but I can't go the same. So do I go higher or lower? I'll go 7. I'll back him. I like the signing. I think yes, he didn't score loads for Sociedad last year, but he's a good dribbler of the ball. He'll help bring other people into play as well. I can see him and St. Maximin having a really good partnership. So I like Isak a lot.
The only issue I have with this is that Gabriel Jesus was a brilliant signing for Arsenal. He's a great player. He was 45 million. That just puts into perspective how good a deal that was. But
it is Newcastle.
Quite a lot of money for. Yeah, it is pennies for them, but.
It's Newcastle, so they're going to be charged extra. It's his release clause as well, which is the thing with the Spanish sides, obviously. I'll give it a 7. I think they could have done better, but I'll give it a 7 and let it roll with that. The next one we have is Neal Maupay. Now Maupay has moved from to Everton, isn't it? Brighton to Everton for a 17.6 million fee. Now Maupay scored 8 goals in the Premier League last year, getting 0.3 goals per game with 1.9 shots per game. He did miss 5 big chances, which isn't excellent. However, 2 assists as well. 4 big chances created, which is decent for a striker who isn't looking to create lots of big chances. He's a decent option. I'm not a massive fan of him. 1 out of 2 penalty goals as well with a 13% goal conversion. 50% penalty conversion, obviously, and that all of his goals scored with his right foot. I think Maupay is an interesting option. I'm not the biggest fan of him, obviously. He's I don't know. There's something about him I don't like, and I don't know what it is. but there's something that I'm just not convinced about with him. So I'm not sure. What do you think of it?
I mean, from when I first saw this, I was like, that's a little bit weird. Why would he leave Brighton? It's a bit of a downgrade. But then from Brighton's perspective, it's alright. He's had a lack of game time and he only has 1 year left in his contract, and it's their last chance to make some money. So from their perspective, it's alright. However, Everton could have done better. It's Calvert-Lewin's good striker, but he's injury prone, obviously. Yeah. But it's nothing special. It's a good signing, nothing special. No. So I think I'll give it another 6.5.
Another 6.5 for Mulpie.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit panicked. And it shouldn't be panicked because they've had a lot of time since Richarlison to plan what they're doing. But they couldn't get Dennis. And I still feel like there's better options on the market available, though. You could have gone down to the Championship.
It's just a little bit of a downgrade from like Richarlison.
It's a big downgrade, yeah. I don't rate Mulpie as a striker. I don't think he's really a top quality level. There's a reason Brighton were willing to let him go. So personally, I'm going to give this a 6. I think 17.6 million as well. That's a lot. That is a lot for a player of his kind of standard. So yeah, I'll give that one a 6. The next one we have to talk about is Emerson Palmieri. Now, obviously, Palmieri was on loan in Ligue 1 last season, on loan at Lyon. However, he has moved from Chelsea to West Ham for 13 million. Palmieri played 29 games in Ligue 1 last season, averaging about 78 minutes per game. 1 goal and 2 assists from left back, picking up 4 clean sheets in the process. Some more defensive stats in the line of 0.9 interceptions per game, 1.6 tackles per game, 64% successful dribbles per game. 64% successful dribbles. Sorry, that's good. 64% of total duels won as well. That's quite good. 1 red card in for Lyon last year. Again, Palmieri's another person that I'm not always totally convinced with. He's somebody I struggle to sort of, totally back. Just because, when he can't make it at Chelsea, West Ham are trying to look to go places. And yes, he looked decent at Lyon last year, as those stats have kind of backed up. However, I'm not convinced on him. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a decent signing, to be honest. I think, West Ham, they've needed a left back, and now they've got that left back. Obviously, you played for Chelsea, didn't really get a look in. That's understandable, but it's one of those players who, doesn't really get the game time at the top 6 club, but then maybe they move down to a West Ham or a Wolves or a Leicester or something, and then they'll get the game time and potentially do well. I think he'll do well. It's not an amazing signing, but I think he'll do. I think he'll do decent.
Okay, fair enough. What score can I get for that?
I don't want to be boring here, but I'm
not letting you give another 6.5. I'm not letting it. You've had 2.
No, I'm going to change the Mulpay one to a 6 after thinking about it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's in the this one, Emerson's in the region from a 6.5 to a 7.
Okay, so you like it the most out of all the transfers so far then?
Him and Isaac are pretty on par.
Isaac are pretty on par. Okay, Emerson, I'll give a 7. I think I'm not totally convinced on him. However, you do also have Aaron Cresswell there as well, who can offer that competition and was the starting left back last year. You've got Cornet, who can again play at left back. So I know they don't want to play him at left back, but he can. So they've got options.
Yeah.
And I think Emerson is a decent option to bring in. 13 mil isn't much in nowadays market either. So if it were to go wrong, you could probably sell him for 4 or 5 and, not lose that much money. So yeah, I'll give Emerson a 7. The next one we've got was only completed a couple of hours ago as of recording, and this is Renan Lodi. Now, Renan Lodi has moved from Atletico Madrid to Nottingham Forest on a season-long loan. I presume this has this has a buy option of 30 million euros. Lodi did quite well with Atleti last season, I do believe. Played 29 games but only started 13. So not excellent really. 41 minutes per game, is obviously a left back. 2 goals and 2 assists from that left wing back position, which Atleti play. Defending wise, which is what Forest will be looking at, 0.4 interceptions per game, 1.1 tackles per game. Not many errors leading to a shot, with only 1 throughout the entire season, which is quite good. However, again, being thrown onto that left wing back position, that does show that a little bit more, where you're not going to have as many errors because you're further out the way of the defensive side. 3.3 total duels won per game, with 0.6 successful dribbles per game. I think as a loan, this is a really good signing. However, again, for this to be signing number 18 for Forest, this is a lot.
I think it's a good signing. A little bit of a shock, Atletico to Forest. A bit strange, but Forest, I'd say that's a good signing. He's a top player. He played Champions League last year. Didn't he score against United at Old Trafford?
I can't remember.
Or was it ruled out?
I can't remember, mate, I must say, but he's a decent player.
Yeah. I'll give this one a 7.
A 7, okay, fair enough. I will give this an 8. I'm going to go out there. Yeah. Omar Richards is injured, which screams why they've signed him. But go with it. They obviously had Harry Toffolo to play on there, but I don't think Toffolo's this quality.
It's a huge upgrade.
It is, and he's obviously Forest played that back 3, so he can play at that left wing back role again, which if he does go back to Atleti, will strengthen him for a starting berth there. I think this works for Atleti because they're bringing in Sergi Reguilon, and I think for Forest this is an excellent signing. He's above Forest's level, I think, by quite a way.
Yeah, definitely.
So for them to be able to get this over the line, I think it's a magnificent buy, and I'll give him an 8.
Yeah,
and obviously being on a loan as well, there's no risk.
Yeah,
which I think helps him as well. So I'll give Renan Lodi an 8. We've got 2 more now. The first one of these is somebody we've already discussed, which is Wesley Fofana. Obviously, Wesley Fofana is going to be moving from Leicester to Chelsea. This isn't officially confirmed yet. However, Romano has given it the here we go, and Fofana is supposed to be flying out to the US right now for his medical. Why he's going to the US, don't ask me. We both know of Fofana's strengths, so I'm not going to go through and read out a load of stats for him. But if I'm looking at key moments from last year, obviously he had that big header in the Conference League on his comeback game. However, he was out for a long stretch of the season. But again, when he came back, you saw his talent shine through. So what do you make of this move from a Chelsea point of view, not a salty Chelsea point of view?
It's a very good move. It's a lot of money, but I'll tell you right now, it's worth every penny of that. He's so much talent, so young, so athletic. He's just such a good centre-back. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Leicester fan, but, he will be a very good signing. He will go right to the very top. It's fair enough in wanting the move. There's ways to go about it, but, from a Chelsea perspective, it's a very good move, I'd say. And they needed a centre back, and I've always said I think he'll fit in a back 3 so fast. I'll give it an 8.5, maybe even a 9.
A 9? Can I get a 9, or are you going 8.5?
I'm going 8.5, but it could be a 9.
It could be a 9. Okay. I like this signing. I think Fofana's an excellent player, and I don't think there's any getting around that. I think he's gone around the move the wrong way, but from a Chelsea point of view, he's an excellent signing. 75 million is a lot, and I'm not trying to say that it isn't by any stretch of the imagination. However, Wesley Fofana is a top player. And I can't get around that. In a back 3, he will work wonders. He likes to progress with the ball as well, which I think will fit in well in that Tuchel system. I'm going to give this an 8. Purely, I'm not giving it, any higher because it is a lot of money. I know he's worth it, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
I think he's only going to grow in value, to be honest, unless he gets another big injury.
Yeah.
He's going to go right to the very top. I saw it from when we signed him.
Agreed, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, I'll rate the 8.5, but I'll stick with my 8, just to protect myself a little bit more in case everything goes wrong. And then the final one is Lucas Paqueta. Now, this isn't completed, or even here we go at the time of recording, I don't think. Maybe it is. But the Brazilian attacking midfielder is going to be moving from Lyon to West Ham for around 60 million euros, I do believe. Last year, he played 35 games for Lyon, starting 32. 9 goals and 6 assists for the French outfit. Passing-wise, 80% passing accuracy. 65 touches a game, which is, quite big. 9 big chances created. He... one out, scored his penalty he took, which is always nice. 10% goal conversion as an attacking midfielder is quite good, because obviously you are shooting more from range. However, 9 big chances missed is a bit of a blow. He can play centre mid, he can play out wide, he can play as a striker. What do you think of this? Sorry.
I like this signing. I think he's a top player. He's an exciting player. Very good dribbler. I think it's a great signing for West Ham. I think he was linked with Newcastle for a bit, and they really wanted him, but he's gone. He looks like he's going to West Ham. I'm a fan of this transfer, to be honest. I'm a fan of him as a player. I think he'll do well at West Ham, so I'll give it a 7.
A 7. I love this transfer. I love Lucas Paqueta. It's a lot of money, but that aside, I think Lucas Paqueta is a top player. I would have loved seeing him to go to Newcastle to have a midfield of Bruno, Joelinton and Paqueta. I think that midfield 3 of all Brazilians would have been incredible. However, he hasn't, and he's chosen to go to West Ham. And I think this is a top buy for West Ham. This really puts West Ham back on the map if they weren't already with some of the business they've done. Paqueta is an excellent player. And I know it's a lot of money, but I'm giving this like a 9. I think Paqueta is incredible, and for West Ham to get this over the line really shows that they are trying to push to that next level. And I could see them getting top 6 with this. I think Paqueta will get 15 to 20 goal involvements this year, and I love Paqueta. It's such a good signing.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 9. I think he's one of the best West Ham could have got.